Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's 1:30. Board of County Commissioners are holding a regular meeting on May 17th, 2022. With County Commissioners Alvin, Schaaf, Ronnie, Maez, and Warren.Brown. County Manager Derek.Woodman, County Attorney Todd Weaver, and County Clerk and Recorder Archuleta present. Call the meeting to order at 1:30. It's 1:31 now. Remind everybody, if you have not, please silence your cell phones. We'll start with Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Disclosure, conflicts of interest? No, sir. No. None. Approval or adjustment to the agenda? I just have one. I would like to move item M off of the consent agenda to new business. So the letter of support for early childhood council in Archuleta County.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I move to approve the agenda as amended.
A second. There a motion to second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, now it's time for public comment. If you guys have submitted a form, we'll call on you. Please approach the podium, state your name and address for the record, and you'll have 3 minutes. First up is Heidi Tanner, a managing member of the Elite Recycling and Disposal. Good afternoon.
Thank you. Yes, my name is Heidi Tanner. I live at 53 Jubilee Court here in Pagosa Springs. And I am, my husband and I, Chris Tanner, own and operate Elite Recycling and Disposal. I am here to make a comment about what was printed in the Pagosa Sun from your May 10th work session regarding the landfill. And I'd like to just read what I'm going to be referring to, which is, this is from the Pagosa Sun, last Thursday's issue, May 12, 2022. We were then referred back to a statement Woodman had made earlier in the meeting about commercial haulers taking goods that customers had paid to recycle and dumping them in the landfill, stating that this practice is consumer fraud. Weaver mentioned that the county should discuss investigating this with the Colorado Attorney General's office, and mentioned that the county could require waste haulers to be licensed with the county. So Elite Recycling and Disposal is a waste hauler. We haul both waste and recycled material. And I want to make a public statement that we do not empty our recycling into the Archuleta County landfill, and we never have. Our recycling is taken to Phoenix Recycling, which is between Ignacio and Durango, and I would like to present a supporting evidence of that. All my receipts from the invoices that we get invoiced for taking our material there. These date back to January of this year, but I can certainly go back further if that's necessary. Can I submit these?
Yes. If you can hand it to Mary, she'll give us copies.
All right, thank you. I just want to say I definitely agree with you that this would be consumer fraud, and I take that comment to heart, and I must say I don't appreciate it, because we are not doing that, and I have evidence that we are not doing that, and I would really like the public record to show that Elite Recycling and Disposal is not putting recycling in the landfill. And to answer some of your hopes that recycling would be diverted somewhere else, well, we've been doing that since 2014 for Archuleta County. And I would like that to be on record as well. And that is all.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is Chris Tanner.
My name's Chris Tanner, 53 Jubilee Court. I too own Elite Recycling. But I wanted to speak to y'all about landfill rates. Again, in the same article Heidi brought up that was published in the Pagosa Sun last week, it was mentioned landfill rates could go up as high as $65. I assume that's a cubic yard. Cubic yard is what you use to measure landfill rates there at the Archuleta County landfill. If you were to raise your rates up to $65 a cubic yard, that would cost me $1,300 every time I empty a truck at the landfill. That would make the monthly rate for a 96-gallon trash cart go up to $115 a month. I don't know about you, but I know a lot of people here in Archuleta County that cannot afford that kind of rate increase on their trash service, especially right now with fuel prices being what they are and runaway inflation and everything else that's going on. And I also don't understand how increasing your rate almost 4 times the normal gate rate would help you with your shortage of landfill space and the space running out of the landfill. A 3-yard container 1 time a week, right now we're charging $120 a month. That rate would make it go up to $456 a month. If I own a small business, that would be a pretty big pill to swallow. So anyway, I did check some landfills around the county, or around Colorado. Montezuma County, I think, was mentioned in the article. They're charging $53.91 a ton. Well, if I convert the tonnage to cubic yards, it's $17 a yard. It's exactly what you're charging right now. So your tonnage per ton rate would be $53.91 a ton. So it's the exact same thing as Montezuma County's charging for their landfill. $56 a compacted ton in Gunnison County, $45 a compacted ton in Swatch County. Chaffee County, $39 a compacted ton. So you guys are already on the high end of the scale there for your landfill rates. And well, Rio Grande County, right next door, $18.80 a ton for compacted waste. So I don't think raising rates at this time is a good idea. I think it's going to put undue stress on our citizens, on our small businesses, and I don't think it's a good idea. And I don't think it's going to get you where you want to be on fixing your landfill problems. So that's all I got to say.
Thank you. Hey, Brian.
Yay. Wayne Bryant, 235 Riverview Court right here. I promise I won't make this political. A couple of weeks ago, I was invited to see the 2,000 Mules video, and most of us deep down in the hearts already knew that there was a lot of fraud that occurred during the last presidential election, and this video just brought it to light. And part of that video is also the Dominion machines. Well, at the Republican Alvin, you were there Sunday too, and we heard the senatorial candidate mention, because I asked him the question, what do we do about these machines? How do we get rid of them? And he point blank said that your BoCC has the authority to not use those machines and go with the paper and a hand count on the ballots. And that would ensure integrity by having enough poll watchers there and judges to verify that the actual vote was actually done. Warren this morning at the Vets for Vets mentioned that he wasn't sure if the BoC had that authority, and it might be just up to the county recorder to have that authority. I'd like for the BoCC and the county recorder to get together to decide who has the authority to turn off those machines so we can do an actual vote in the primary and the general that would be legit. Right now, there's a lot of questions about the machines, and the best way to do it is just turn them off and go back the old-fashioned way and have people come in and have people vote and do away with the mail-in ballot, because that's where the fraud occurred. And it was blatant. I don't know if you've seen the video or not, but it was amazing how they tracked this and did this. So to uphold the election integrity, I'd like for you guys to take a look and see how we can get around those machines and turn them off and get back to a hand count. I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Roger Sanchez.
Hi everybody, thank you for allowing me to comment. Roger Sanchez, 1034 Hill Circle, Pagosa Springs. As many of you know, I've been recording almost all of these sessions, at least about 90% of them, for about 2 years. mainly because I want to keep records of everything, and Zoom has a way of not being able to, sometimes it's choppy, sometimes it's censorious, so I do what I can with that. One thing I've noticed is that there has never been any sort of engagement with the Board of County Commissioners within these meetings regarding pro-leave San Juan Basic Public Health comments. In the last couple of meetings, I've witnessed that you guys have actually engaged with certain people on different topics. One of them was the land use / marijuana debate. Some people's public comments from my recordings went as long as 7 or 8 minutes, with you three or some of you actively engaging with them during the public comments. The other one on the same day was regarding the courthouse property for sale. That engagement, nonstop raising of hands, people commenting and whatnot. So you guys were able to engage with those people. Plus, the last Board of County Commissioners meeting, we had 4 or 5 people here who were pro-stay San Juan Basic Public Health. You actively engaged with them as well. Now, for the last 2 years, people who are pro-leave San Juan Basic Public Health, myself included, we've made public comments on here about certain things that we want to do to leave and why we should and whatnot, whether it's expensive or detrimental or whatever. We never got any sort of like-minded engagement as all those other people have, and that's just within the last 2 meetings. Compare that to the last 2 years where we didn't. During I know that we had talked to you, Alvin, at one of the Council's Women's Republican meeting, and you told us that you were very open to leaving San Juan Basic Public Health, but I've never heard you say that inside this room. Warren, last week you had talked to the people who are pro-stay, and you made a point. I'm wondering if the Catherine, Mary Beth, Dwight, and Shaylene's presentation was all done in vain, if it's going to be taken seriously when they come up with evidence, if they have that opportunity, that it would actually be waived by you guys to leave, if that's an option. I mean, it just seems like we're trying to make progress with this. I see progress in communication with you guys on every other subject, but nobody wants to engage with us, with people like me. I'm just seeing a big discrepancy with that, and I would hope that there is a little bit more transparency when it comes to you guys engaging with all avenues, because we are your constituents. We the people here, and we have a voice as well. We want to make sure that we're heard and equally looked at as a viable option. Thank you.
Thank you.
Make a comment. Roger, thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you.
I would like to say that I don't necessarily follow your reasoning in that the presentation that we received during the work session with Shailene and the others, which I appreciated, was, I believe, over 45 minutes. And that was engagement, listening, commenting, back and forth. I have not found any consistent setting in which there's engagement every time, or there is the lack of engagement every time. So I think it comes up when there's a comment to be said, but when I was contacted by Shailene and asked for time to address the board on a concern, which specifically was San Juan Basic Health, I think that if it's regarding county business, that we should, and it's appropriate that we should make the time, which I did. I had them put on the agenda for the work session. So I also thought that the engagement was very professionally done. I think that I felt walking away from it that it was, I appreciated what was said. So I would just like to throw that out there. I don't know if you made that one or not.
I did.
Okay.
If I may, though, that's almost 2 years after there were multiple public comments from other people who are pro-leave San Juan Basic Public Health, and no comments during that 1.5 tenure ever resulted in engagement. So, I appreciate the effort. I did record that session. I was here for it. And as long as I can see that there's a really good intent to try to make progress, whether it's stay or leave, and you weigh the options equally, while being open and honest about your opinions on that. That's all I care about. Whether we have to stay, and it turns out that we do have to stay for many reasons, as long as the honesty is there, the engagement is there, and the consideration of opposing viewpoints from all sides is looked at. So I appreciate that.
Of course, thank you.
Well, one piece of information is we're reaching out, we're giving our own ideas to San Juan Basin Health of what we might want to change, discuss. So it's moving along, but like I said, government moves slow. Doesn't move as fast as everybody expects it to, nor as fast as I expect it to.
May I respond to that too?
Absolutely.
Just really quick. They never let you guys speak. They never let the public speak. And that to me is very detrimental as a public entity that receives federal funding, that we have no say. You guys, I think you were blocked out from one of the meetings before as well when you wanted to speak, Alvin, if I'm not mistaken correctly. They also have done things, I have names on my website that show that are the people who actually went to our local high school, to hand out Junior Heroes Challenge information. That information is out there. Has anybody reached out to them to figure out who needs to be reprimanded for that activity? I mean, anybody could go into the school and kidnap the kid. I mean, it can go that far. I mean, I'm not being hyperbolic, but yeah, I would love to see our representatives here be able to engage with them instead of them giving their long-winded answers about, this is my background, that's my background, and whatnot. That's all they do whenever we try to make meetings with them. It's an hour and a half of their platitudes and self-gratification. So, yeah,
the meeting should be open to the public and allow for public comment.
Thank you. I appreciate that response.
Great. That's pretty cool.
Hello, let me Nicole, PO Box 5976. And I just had a couple questions on county procedures. Because I'm all about transparency, and I think whatever can help the county understand procedures would be great. This is particularly within the sheriff's office, and a lot of you have served there. Is there like a standardized process that could be clarified or given to me when it comes to the service process of the sheriff's department? It seems like there might be some confusion on how this process works within that department. It seems what appears that they're asking for permission every time there's a service request. I don't know who they're asking. I don't know if they're coming to this county office to ask, or if they're asking the sheriff in order to get permission to serve an individual. So if something can be shared with me on that, I can't find anywhere in Title 30 where they have to ask for permission when they're given fees for that service. And then real quick, I just wanted to get the board's opinions, and maybe Mr. Weaver's, on how this board feels about taking residents' property without just compensation in this county. Those are only my 2 questions, and I'm more than happy to get a comment later, get response back later. That's perfectly fine.
Are you referring as far as having somebody's property?
Yes. It was taken without just compensation.
For government process or something like that?
Yeah.
I think, and Todd, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think we do have to present a reasonable value before,
Okay.
So they are offered a reasonable value before and it's not taken from them. So if that that offer falls into play and they take it, then it's up to them.
So they do receive an offer?
Yes, absolutely. I think we have to.
Okay. Yeah, this particular case they didn't, but I will go ahead.
Is it Archuleta County?
Yeah.
I would be hesitant to offer a comment as I feel like this may be with regard to current litigation.
Exactly.
As a result,
We're not coming on at all. When it comes to personal real property and their use of eminent domain, yes, there has to be good faith negotiations before the county can initiate civil litigation to condemn for public purpose real estate. On other scenarios, it varies widely depending upon the circumstances and what's involved, whether it be a criminal case or a civil case.
Yeah. So as far as us doing it, there is a process.
Okay. Well, if you guys don't mind, I'll follow up on that later with you guys.
Of course, us, we're talking about Board of County Commissioners. Board of County Commissioners cannot speak for an unelected official as the sheriff's office.
Right.
They're completely, cannot, a separate constitutional office, separate from Board of County Commissioners.
All right, speaking about my last question or the one prior to that.
Well, either one. I
Yeah,
think
both.
if they both pertain to another elected official, then we don't have any say.
Because the people elect that official to do that representation.
Okay, so yeah, would you guys be willing to share whatever the procedures are for the server's process?
You'd have to have, that's,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't,
that'd be the sheriff's office.
I don't wear a badge, so I didn't even answer.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
My follow-up question would be if the sheriff's office is involving anybody here.
Okay.
Yes.
No further comment. It's 1:51, we're adjourned. Recess, regular meeting.